Hello guys, and welcome to this video where I will show you a hot lap around Monaco, then the setup I use, and finally the race strategy. So let's jump right into the hot lap. Get the DRS on, and then coming into turn 1 you want to brake just before the shadow begins under the board. So around 50 meters, going down to 3rd gear, and then you want to go over the curb. Then go close to the walls up here, and then you want to brake just as you're able to see the crane. Go down to 4th gear and then get as close to the walls, then in turn 4 go down to 3rd. For turn 5 just brake before the base part of this barrier and really try and get as much speed into the corner. And for turn 6 try to brake before the shadow from its trees, going down to 1st gear, and then try to hit the apex a bit late. Then try to push the throttle as much as possible while going a bit over the curb and stay as much to the left going down to turn 8. Then just full throttle through the tunnel, and I'll show you a better first half after this lap. But for turn 10, brake just after the 100 meter board and then really try to cut this curb as much as possible without invalidating. Then just tap the brake after the 50 meter board and don't hit the wall as I did. And then going over the curb here, and then brake just before this bush, going over the curb, and then again, don't touch the wall. And then brake as soon as you can get a straight line braking for turn 18, going down to 1st gear, then just tap the brakes around here. Don't go down to 1st as I did, but stay in 2nd or 3rd gear. Then just DRS on, and then that was a lap around Monaco in the time 1:10.251. But let me just show you half the lap where I really nailed the corners, so use this for the corners until turn 10. I gained 4 tenths, while compared with my fastest lap I only gained 1.5 tenths. So 2.5 tenths quicker, which means it could be a lap time of 1:10.0. So that's pretty good. But let's take a look at the setup that got us this time. So for the aerodynamics we used 50 on the front and 50 on the rear, then 65 and 50 for transmission, then all the way to the right for the camber and all the way to the left on the toe. Suspension was 3.5 and then 1.6 for anti-roll bar, then 5.6 for ride height. Brakes were 150, and then the front tires were 24.0 while the rears were 23.0. So that was the setup, and then let's jump right into the race strategy. So you want to use medium hards for strategy, and then you want to use around 41 laps of fuel. And then for the setup, the only thing you want to change is the tire pressure, where you want to put it down to 22.5 on the fronts and then 21.3 or 5 on the rears. And then off to the formation lap, where I'll just skip ahead until the end of it. Again, we managed to do a purple. We did a 0.4, so it was okay, but not perfect. And then off to the race we go. So we were P3 just behind Russell, and we wanted to get in front of him into turn 1 because it's so hard to overtake in Monaco. So as you can see, we were able to get just in front of him into turn 1, and then we had the better exit, which meant that we could get past him. And then after one lap we had around 4 to 5% tire wear, so on the mediums expect around 2 to 3 each lap. But let me show you a lap with high fuel on Monaco. So for turn 1 you want to do almost the same, maybe go down to 2nd instead of 3rd and maybe brake a bit earlier. Otherwise the same going up here, brake a bit before also here to make sure that you don't hit the walls. And then watch out for this bump. And then coming down here, brake a bit earlier to get the corner right, and the same goes here so you don't go wide in the U-turn here. And then watch out for the throttle so you don't drift as I do. And then the same coming down 2nd or 3rd gear, and then just full throttle through the tunnel. And then as you did in the hot lap, you want to brake just after the 100 meter board, coming over this curb. Just try to cut it as much as possible. I exceeded track limits, but try to do it so you gain a lot of time. Then here going down to 4th, still going over these curbs, and you can cut the curb a little bit here as well. You can see I went over the sausage curb and it didn't really matter. Then down here, going down to 1st again, put it up to 2nd, then up to 3rd, and then just straight out for the lap. And then as you can see, I was able to do a 1:14.3. So that was okay for a lap, but I managed to get it a bit quicker in a few laps time. Then at the end of lap 17 we have around 53% tire wear, so go into the pits. The pit can be a bit tricky in Monaco, but just remember to get it under 60 kilometers and then try to hit the purple instead of the green on the turn in. So a bit disappointing not to hit the purple, but oh well, we still got a 2.8 time, so it was not horrible. And then remember guys, tires are shitty cold, 70 degrees, so just remember to warm them up before pushing. And then I wanted to show you a lap around Monaco with the hard tires. So for turn 1, do exactly the same as in the Hotlap, brake before the board ends. And then coming up to turn 3, you want to brake before you do as in the Hotlap, so before you're able to see the crane. Coming around here, going in third, the same as in the Hotlap. Around here you want to brake just before the beige as well, so just a little bit before the Hotlap. Around here, exactly the same, going down to first, pushing it up to second and then a bit over this curb, going down to third, maybe second, and then just full throttle around the tunnel. Then coming down to turn 10, brake just after the 100 meter board, going over this curve, so exactly the same as on the mediums and also on the Hotlap. Brake just after the 50 meter board, going in fifth, over this curves here, and then down to fourth, going over the curb. Brake when you get a straight line, into first, and then up to second, and then third gear around this corner, and then just push. So full throttle, ERS on, and then that was a lap on them hards. So our tire wear was 4%, so having around 2% tire wear each lap on the hards. Then at the end of lap 39 we had around 45% tire wear, so a good strategy, and the hard really felt good on Monaco. And we had around 0.65 laps of extra fuel, so just extract that from the beginning. But that was it from me. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.